Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics. A little while back, you may have seen a video called How to Make a Pocket Prayer. It was really in the very beginning of COVID where I knew that I was making masks all the time and I had a lot of fabric left over. And I remembered someone who had given me a pocket prayer years ago. And that pocket prayer inside has a beautiful gold cross inside, and on the back was this really special message, which I'm going to read to you again. Maybe you didn't see that previous video. It says, the Pocket Prayer Quilt was made especially for you to slip in your pocket throughout the day when your fingers touch the cross inside the quilt. Be mindful of God's love and grace for you. Keep it as a tangible symbol of God's peace. And it was just so heartwarming that when I was making the mask, I would give mask along with some of the pocket prayers from all the leftover fabric. And it just was like, you know, medical professionals were kind of slipping them into their pocket. Just a lot of hope and inspiration during kind of a scary time. Well, as the months have passed on, you know, as we've gone on, we came up with yet another version, and this one was the Patchwork Heart Pocket Prayer, where if you had maybe a prayer that you wanted to write to someone, a message, we built that one where you could have a pocket in the back and be able to put that message in there. So we've had a couple genesises of the pocket prayer. Well, I have been blessed by this amazing customer, Sue Spire, who sent me this amazing letter that I'll share part of that with you. And she sent me two pocket prayers. One was the original one that I had taught, and this new one is one that she made with these. They're called Cupcake Mix Recipes from Moda. I can't wait to show this to you. This is not my idea. This is Sue's idea, so thank you so much, Sue. I want to share part of that letter with our customers so that, you know, we're a community here. Yes, we sell quilt kits. Yes, we sell that. But you know what? We sell, you know, hope and joy, and just to be able to bless someone with a small, heartfelt gift like that can really make their day. So let me just share part of Sue's letter. It was so amazing. So she definitely talked. She'd been sewing since she was 12. I love that. She said, I want to share a story with you. I have a dear friend that's 90 and has a lot of health issues. Her parents were born in Greece and she was brought up very Greek. She called in tears. She said, it's a Greek tradition from the old country that your mother makes a little quilt like this for you. She takes it to the church to have it blessed. Then she would pin it to her bloomers when she was little. It was supposed to keep her from harm. After years of wearing it, she lost it. She was so sad because it meant a lot to her. When she got the Pocket Prayer Quilt from me, it brought a flood of memories. Thank you for helping me bring joy to people. I want to share my discovery with you. And she goes on to talk about how with two 5-inch squares, which we know as charm squares, with that, two just simple fabrics, right side together, and with one of the Cupcake Mix Recipes, you'll simply pin this. These will be right sides together, and we'll pin this to the top. So if you've got some charm squares, fantastic. If you don't, just cut some 5-inch squares of two fabrics, right sides together with a nice contrast, and we'll go ahead and place that right on top. The instructions are included right on top of the printed paper here, and it says to go ahead, right sides together, set stitch length so that it's approximately 12 stitches to the inch. So I've definitely shortened my stitch length, which has been really helpful to be able to kind of also perforate the paper, which we'll be taking off, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. So we'll be starting at the star, and we're just going to stitch exactly on the line and pivot, come down here 2, come back 3 and 4. That's the first portion, and then we'll also come back down to the bottom and we'll stitch along that line, come back and stitch here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pin that together. Just make sure your pins are well away from the dash lines, which is where the track of your presser foot will be. You can pin anywhere out here. And so hey, by the way, while I'm pinning this, if many of you who are watching, maybe you've had a craft, maybe you know of a technique, maybe there's something that you would love to also share with me, please, I would be just so blessed to hear the framework of our project, what it means to you, so I can turn around and teach that to people as well, because it's just kind of fun to be able to perpetuate these amazing things that we learn from quilt retreats, quilt guilds, you name it, all of the things that we get to learn from each other. So we love learning from you too, and if you're okay with that, we'd love to be able to teach that to all the people that follow us on YouTube. Okay, so I'm over here at the sewing machine. I'm going to start at my star, and the main thing they said is make sure that anywhere there's a dashed line, you fully stitch on that. You don't want to be shy of that at all. You can definitely start sewing before and finish afterward, but you need to cover that distance as a minimum. So let's get started. I'll use my spinning mat, which is one of my best friends here. So it's not necessary, you know, you could definitely do this without a spinning mat, but it's kind of nice. Let me get my iron heating up and move some stuff out of the way here. Just pivot that. Here's something, I'm so used to cutting straight across. Notice how this comes here and then it jogs over. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down this row and just separate that. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about, because this line didn't continue. If I cut there, I'm going to cut off my squares. So I'll just separate that out and cut that separately in the end. Okay, so we have all of our pieces cut apart, and here's the really cool thing, by the way. When you use just one of the cupcake recipes, it's enough to make 2 of the top of our, where'd it go? Here we are, over here. I made this one. By the way, this is the Sweet 16 collection from Andover. Edita Sitar of Laundry Basket Quilts is the designer. I love this collection. So there's enough to make 2 of these, and I want to show you something else. You've got 3 different layouts, because as you can see, here, let me peel that paper back. What we've done is we made a half square triangle here with that, and we've made kind of this patchwork unit. So depending on how you arrange it, you have 3 different possibilities there. So that's kind of fun too. So we'll need 2 of our half square triangles, and we'll need 4 of those, and I'll go ahead and put the rest of that aside just to speed up our time together here. And the nice thing about the perforation, besides putting just more thread, you want more thread in smaller spaces like this, but it makes it so easy to tear the paper away. So we'll do that. And I'll go ahead, and I think I'll just repeat what I've done here so you can see that. But it depending on just how you arrange it, will be what you see. Actually, you know what? Let me do this one right here. That'll be kind of fun to do a different, well, you'll see what the other one looks like with a different arrangement. Same exact fabrics, and we'll see how that will look differently. That'll be fun. Okay, just peel that back. I'm going to go ahead and press everything to the dark, which is really kind of my habit. By the way, be sure to pick up your Pocket Prayer packs. What's inside there will be 12 of the beautiful gold crosses. You'll get 12 of these cards, and we give you at least 12 of those safety pins, and that way you can be pinning your prayer to the back. Now, if you really enjoy this style with the heart, same thing. You'll be grabbing the same Pocket Prayer pack, but maybe instead of using those, inside this pattern, you'll have your prayer lists. And so you've got options. You could also certainly slip one of those inside that pocket if you want and secure it with a pin. So whatever you want to do with that, lots of options. So let's get that pressed to the dark. Okay, so the first thing I can already see I want to do is just get rid of that little bit of extra fabric right there. That's not going to be doing us any favors, but adding more bulk, which we don't want. So let's get that gone. Okay, and we'll keep trying to clean up here, keep ourselves organized. All right, so let's lay that out. We're going to go for this look here, and I'm really done with the spinning mat. Let's put that down there. Here. So this is the look I'm going for, this one right there. So I can see that's going to be here and here, like that. And that. So let's go ahead and we'll just go right side together. It's so tiny. Wow, no, forget a pin. There's no room for a pin. Let's bring that over there and right side together. And we're going to go so a 1/4 inch as steady as we can. I might even grab a little bit of a scrap fabric. It's called a starter strip, just to get me going straight, and then I'll come on to the project. So I'm going to grab a little I think I've got a scrap piece of fabric here that I can use as a starter strip, and we'll get that sewn. I'm going to also change out my presser foot now to be my regular 1/4 inch that I consistently love to use to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and change that out as well. So this is just a little scrap piece of fabric, what I'm going to call a starter strip. The whole function is to kind of just get my machine going. I want to have a nice, clean, steady 1/4 inch seam. And when I'm working with these smaller pieces, just having that machine going seems to help facilitate that, and the machine doesn't want to kind of have that fabric pivot down. Now if we've shortened, I just noticed I didn't bring my stitch length up to its normal stitch. I'm going to still leave it down a little bit from normal because I do want to put a lot of stitches in this. It's a short distance, but maybe not quite as short as I did with the perforation of that paper. Okay. Now there's something cool I'm going to show you how to do. You maybe have not seen this before, and maybe you have, but we're going to do something. We're going to spin the center seam. And you're like, what are you talking about? Well, on the back here, you know, you're like, you could press it one side or the other, or you can press open, or I want you to see this. When I pop this just like that, that seam just wants to lie open. And what's nice about that is it lays really flat. So it kind of makes this little almost 4-patch on the back. It's cute as can be, but it just also, besides being cute, I did that here, it just helps it lay really flat. So that's that one. I'll show you that again. So on the back, we'll go ahead and just lay that open, just like that. See how that did that? It just kind of lays open, and all the seams kind of just follow each other around. I can put my iron right there in the middle, and it's nice and flat, and I don't kind of have this kind of peak in the middle because all the seams are laying nice and flat. Okay, so we've done that. Just iron that just a little bit better right there. All right, so let's look back at our Cupcake Mix Recipe cover. So it shows us having the dark here, like that, on the top row, and then the bottom row, we're going to have this and like that. Did we do that right? Okay, we did. All right, so this will go right side together, and this will go right side together. Let's go sew that. I'm going to use my starter strip again. Okay, let's see what this thing wants to do. Sometimes when I'm like, which way do I press? I just kind of look. What's it want to do? You know, really, I think pressing open may be the most beneficial here, just to kind of spread out that bulk. Although I do see it kind of wants to move in this direction. I kind of let the fabric tell me what it wants to do. Sometimes when it's not obvious which way to press. Let's see if we like that. Let me try this one here, see what we get. Again, when I kind of do this, it wants to, we certainly want to have interlocking seams. So if that went that direction, we need that to go in this direction. So let's go with that. Or you could press open. Either way, I think would give you a nice result. Let's see what we think. Hey, and if you press it and you're like, I don't think I like that, that's fine. Change the seam and go ahead and press open. Hey, we'll give this a try. On this one here, I did press that seam open, but let's try it like this. I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in there because I want to get that intersection. Okay, let's give that a try. Okay, so now I definitely want to press this one open. Let's just heat that up. Preheated seams seem to be a little more pliable when you're trying to press one way or the other. Just get in there like that. Now this top should measure 3 inches. So you can just grab some scrap fabric. I've got a 3-inch piece of scrap fabric here. I would save the charm squares to be doing more of the tops and just be using scraps for your back. Or if you want to have a completely coordinated look, you know, by all means, use another fabric from the same collection. Okay, so we have this, and I'll go right sides together, and I can see mine is just a little bit, I'm going to square that up just a touch here. I think I got a little scant on my seam, but I'm going to go ahead and just clean that up just a touch. Now on the original Pocket Prayer, I tried to put like another layer, a thin layer of batting. I've tried another fabric. You know, on the one that I did here, it's just fabric there's nothing in the middle. There's no fusible fleece, there's no fusible batting, there's no batting, it's just fabric. And you know what, I think that's fine because otherwise it's too difficult to turn through. So let's go ahead and we're gonna sew a 1/4 inch seam. So let's pretend that there's a print here. You'd be right side together. And you know what, I am gonna go ahead and put a pin in. I was getting all ready to start sewing, and I think pinning is going to be my friend here. Now normally we start sewing over in a corner, not this time because we have to leave an opening to turn it right side out. Go ahead and maybe start right in here, and you know, if I had a marker here, I'd just mark our beginning and end. Just leave a space that you'll be able to turn that, and don't start in that corner. And go ahead and backstitch a couple times. And my favorite part of any project is turning it through to see what this looks like. Okay, I probably could have left a little bit of a bigger opening, so it might take a little bit more effort to turn that through. We'll see how it goes. You know, sometimes if you leave an opening and it's just too narrow, just seam rip a couple of stitches. You might have to go back and reinforce that area as you turn it through, but that's fine. I'd rather do that than, you know, wrestle with the fabric and just not have a good time with it. This is going to be fine. It's turning through, but now that I've done this online with you, you know, probably leaving an 1.5 inch opening would be easier to go ahead and turn our project through. Here it comes. Now this is where, you know, I'm going to stick my finger in there and do what I can, but I can only do so much. That's where that clover point turner, we've used it in all versions of our Pocket Prayer, and definitely this one again. We're going to get in those corners, and that's what helps us get that nice 90 degrees in areas that we can't reach. So whether you're doing corners or you're turning something through on a different project that has an arc or a circle, like our scallop table topper we recently did, this tool is your best friend. So I'm going to go ahead and also just kind of with my fingers tuck that in 1/4 inch. I think I went a little past 1/4 there. If you kind of pull it, it'll kind of close for you, and then you can finesse that to be wherever you want it to be. Give it a good press. Now, something I've learned as I've made lots of these pocket prayers is rather than putting the cross in now, go ahead and start about here, go around, and just prior to closing that, go ahead and slip that cross in. Otherwise, you have to kind of feel its location so it doesn't inadvertently migrate as you're sewing around and you strike that with your needle, which could of course damage your machine. So I'll get my cross ready over here with me, and I'm just going to well, as you can see here, I'm just going right along that edge, and we'll wait till almost the very end, and we'll put that beautiful cross right inside. So I'm going to go ahead and push that in all the way over, well out of the way. I think I can feel that still. There we go. It's over there. We're safe. Here we go, down the side. Okay. Now, if you noticed, the adorable little quilts that I was sent have the tie. You know, it's because in the old days, that's how they finished quilts, is they tied them. So I have to follow suit and to just honor Sue, to follow exactly what she did. So we'll go ahead and go straight down. This is 6 strands of embroidery floss. I just picked color that I thought would look nice. And these are the embellishing needles. I'm just coming down, right back up, kind of on the opposite side of that intersection there. That works. Take your needle out and tie, you know, once or twice, well, definitely twice, at least twice for sure. And it's, again, it's really just to kind of connect back to the way quilts were. You know, my grandma's quilts were all hand tied. That's how it was. So isn't that adorable? Now, once that's done, you'll go ahead and grab a beautiful gold pin and your pocket prayer, just to the back like that, pin it all the way through, close that. So now it's ready for gift giving. So thank you so much, Sue, for sending me that heartfelt letter and giving me permission to show people how to use this fun cupcake mix recipe to make the pocket prayers. Hey, if you enjoyed the video today, I'd love to get a thumbs up and share this with a friend that too might enjoy learning how to make these fun pocket prayers. I'll see you in a future video.